If you want others to think you're interesting, be interested. Hey, it's Keith Yackey, founder and creator of The Private Money Process, the step-by-step guide to teaching you how to raise money for your deals. Basically, so you can do more deals, make more money, and enjoy the life you really want to live. Let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes you can make in that first meeting with an investor. And that is, ding, 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 trying to build rapport in an awkward way. Let me give you an example. Sometimes you'll be like, hey, yeah, so tell me where you're from. And they're like, oh, well, I originally am from, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Somebody who knows what they're doing will be like, oh, that's cool. I bet you it was cold up there. What was your favorite thing to do as a kid? Oh, well, I liked this and like that. Oh, that's awesome. And you build the conversation by putting the attention and the shine back on them. Tell me about this. In every conversation, the person asking the questions, most of the time, if both people want to be in that conversation, the person asking the questions is kind of in control of where the conversation goes. Let me show you what most people do and instantly ruin a great first meeting. Hey, so where did you originally come from? And they'll be like, oh, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they'll then cut in and be like, oh, I love that place. I had a sister and my sister's boyfriend went to college with a guy that wasn't from Milwaukee. What's that other big city there in Wisconsin? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Timbuk, whatever. Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, so he told me this story. And then what happens? They trail off on this long, yammering, boring-ass story that nobody cares about, nobody wants to listen to. And this person sitting there thinking, did you come here to perform for me? A. B, are you ever going to shut up? C, hey, can you let me tell you my stories about Wisconsin rather than you telling me about some 7-person removed? Do you guys see the difference there? It's a huge difference because when you're in rapport with somebody, that means things are just jiving, things are clicking, things are cooking with gas, as my dad would say. My dad had all these old timer sayings, and I still use a lot of them because that's how I was raised. And my wife's like, dude, what old man saying is that? But the funniest thing is people think they're building rapport by saying this, and they're not. They're not at all. In fact, no, they're ruining their chances. Let me give you a tip and a trick that will make people think you're very, very interesting. And it's a simple quote. If you want others to think you're interesting, be interested. Be interested in them. I've had word come back to me about me from others and like, man, that person thought you were so interesting. It's like, well, yeah, I just asked questions and I let them talk. Have you noticed that we as humans like to talk about ourselves? Well, then when are you going to let them do that? One of the things that I do, and it's just out of common courtesy because I don't ever want to be this guy, is if I'm even telling a story that they've asked me to tell them, I'll like halfway through be like, hey, is this still interesting to you? Do you want to hear the rest of this? Hey, do you mind if I share the rest of this with you? Why? Because I'm a polite human being that says, you know what? I may have been more interested in telling the story than you actually are of hearing this story. So maybe I should stop for a quick second and just check in with you. It's the same thing I do on stage when I'll ask somebody, do you know what I'm saying? Or I'll say, you know how you felt when this happened? That simple phrase of, you know how I felt. I do this in my personal conversations all the time. I'll go, has that ever happened to you? Or if that happened to you, how do you think you would have responded? Here's what I responded, but how do you think you would have responded? What that does is it causes the conversation to be a two-way thing. When you interrupt somebody and tell your story and don't have any interest in hearing them, that comes across as rude. But you know what me and like all my best friends do? Whether it's my guy friends or girlfriends or whoever, it's like we almost interrupt each other, not because we want to be rude, but it's because we're so excited to join in and to add and to co-create that conversation together. That's a very real feeling. I can tell you when I'm talking with my wife or I'm talking to my surf buddies or my homies, homies, that sounds so crew-like. What's my crew? I have to bite my tongue a lot. Not because I don't want to hear what they have to say, but because I want them to know that what they're saying is being heard by me and I'm actually listening. Listening is a skill, which means you might not be very good at it right now, which means don't say everything that comes off the top of your head, even though you think it's funny. Pause. One of the best things I learned in doing sales was one of my sales mentors said, when they're done, wait 3 seconds. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay. And then repeat back. I want to make sure I'm hearing what you're saying. Is this correct? And so I'll even do that with my friends. I'll wait. Really make sure they're done. I really want to make sure that they're being heard. I'll look them in the eye. Sometimes I like look people in the eyes a lot, but it's because I'm interested. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what the hell is going on. And I'm listening to actually hear what they say and then coming up with a response based off of what they said. That's what a real conversation is. These are conversation skills that most people are ruining on their first meeting with an investor, their first date with a gal, their first time sitting down with a potential business partner or client, and they're too quick to tell their stories. You will differentiate yourself from like 90% of everybody else if you ask questions and let other people tell their story. And guess what? You'll walk out the hero. And it's not like some game, like I gotta be the hero. You'll learn so much more by actually just listening to people. You know, I've been around people that cut me off, tell me the same story or same joke over and over and over again. And frankly, I just go, ooh, I want to make sure I don't spend that much time around that person because I don't feel uplifted when I walk away from there. I feel like deflated. I feel like, I just wasted a time being this person's audience for their little shtick or their thing. You don't want to do that. Try and avoid that. If you like this video, like it, share it with somebody who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel. That way you can get more and more of these videos every single week. But it's my attempt to give you things that I know work in the real world of business, having done so many deals and having raised so many millions of dollars in private money. I just know what works, and I hope this works for you as well. Let me know in the comments below, ask any questions, or let me know what you think, or if you have any questions, or you have any stories that are like this, or anecdotes that I might be able to use in some of the other videos. All right, take care.